Hey folks, welcome to this week's edition of the Microsoft Cloud News Update, researching the cloud blogs so you don't have to. I'm Carl Kishel. Apologies for the little frog in my throat, overcoming a quick cold here, nothing major. Want to share with you a couple updates from this past week, so let's jump right into it. Azure Hybrid Benefit, now generally available for Linux. So Hybrid Benefit has been around a long time for both Windows Server 2008 and really Windows Server, any version of Windows Server, and also SQL Server. The Hybrid Benefit has been extended to the Linux platform, specifically for Red Hat and SUSE enterprise servers. So you're now able to bring your enterprise licensing for SUSE and Red Hat Linux into Azure. Optimizing Azure workload costs. So it seems every couple of weeks there is a new blog post around Azure workload optimization, cost optimization, etc. So this blog post gets into the well-architected framework and this 4 stages of cost optimization. So it's a really good read, something to check out if would like to learn more about how to optimize your Azure cost. Did want to point out the new capabilities of Azure Advisor. And in this particular blog post, it also links to some webinars that were recently recorded on Channel 9. So wanted to dig into that a little bit. And again, all these links will be in the description for you to follow along. So regarding this Channel 9 cost optimization webinar, it's in 2 parts, part 1, part 2. Part 1's relatively short. So it's a good webinar to go through to understand the different aspects of cost optimization. Part 2 is particularly interesting and something I wasn't aware of and wanted to share with you around cost optimization and direct API calls. So there could be the case where you're not able to run Azure Advisor or any of the cost optimization tools directly in your environment, either for security, policy concerns, etc. You do have access to some of these direct API calls to help you with cost optimization. So that link is in the description as well, and just wanted to run this with you very quickly. So some of these API calls are REST operations, and they're managed in these various groups. So for example, if you wanted to see what the impact of some of the reserved instances or reservation capabilities of the Azure platform are based on your current running workloads, and you didn't want to run the Azure Advisor tool in your environment, you can call these APIs directly. So clicking on the actual group and then getting into the list can give you some, will give you access to these particular API calls directly. And if you were to try this, you can click on try it. You do need to put in the proper parameters such as the scope, filter, etc. So you'd want to hone this in on your particular scope of virtual machines, the SKU or the virtual machine type. But once you've passed those parameters, you can click on try it. It'll connect you to your current Azure subscription and pull that data for you and give you some telemetry on what a reserved instance would look like and the impact of reserved instances in terms of cost for your particular Azure subscription. Going back to the video does walk you through that in real time in terms of what that looks like. So it's a pretty cool way to understand cost optimization, reserved instances. There's some other groups there that you can experiment with. No impact to your subscription. It's just giving you some what-if analysis. So check out the link for more information. We have a roadmap update regarding Office 365 and ATP. This is something called evaluation mode, which is now in development and slated for release later this year, next month actually. And evaluation mode is going to be a capability of pointing to your Exchange Online mailboxes and doing a what if analysis on what if you've had Office 365 ATP turned on in your environment and the impact of messages being blocked by Defender, and giving you some telemetry as to the usefulness of Office 365 ATP. So it's definitely something to check out once this hits your tenant later this year. There's a new Power Automate app for Microsoft Teams. Power Automate, which used to be called Microsoft Flow, is the ability to create flows or power automations within your Microsoft environment and also beyond the Microsoft environment. This new capability allows you to create Power Automate flows within Teams. So there are a couple of different templates that are now available for Microsoft Teams to create Power Automate workflows, templates, etc. And there's a pretty neat example in terms of scheduling one-on-one calls with the sender of a message. So someone who might send you a message within Microsoft Teams, and if you wanted to schedule a call with them, you can create a flow that can do that for you. There's some other flows and examples that are listed here in this blog post. So check out this new capability to create Power Automate flows within Microsoft Teams. And last but not least, there's an announcement here regarding Microsoft Dataverse. So this is really two things. Number one, it's a renaming of the Common Data Services, which is the kind of the master database, if you will, within the Microsoft Power Platform, particularly for Power Apps. There's a renaming there called Microsoft Dataverse. And there's a new component within here that extends the Microsoft Dataverse, formerly known as the CDS, for Microsoft Teams. So this new naming convention also comes with new enhancements for the Dataverse and the extension of Power Apps into Teams. So definitely read through this blog post for more information on these enhancements. And a lot of this goes to the previous announcement and making Power Automate and the new Power Automate app available within Microsoft Teams. So that concludes this session of the Microsoft Cloud News Update. Really hope you learned something new, or maybe you relearned something. Please like, subscribe, and share this webinar series with others. If you have any feedback, please reach out to me on LinkedIn or Twitter. Really appreciate any feedback that you might have. And thank you again for joining, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.